Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody stuffed yourselves silly with turkey. I'm starting out with these pictures of me because I've bought makeup and I've started playing around with it because, Taz always looks so gorgeous and she always has different makeup, and I've never really been big on makeup, but I'm going to start trying to do a little something most of the time. So, all right. So let's just get into what we have for today, shall we? Let's go. To start off with, I found this comment from my subscriber, Rex, and I had to laugh because she said a month ago she was in a supermarket and a woman walked past her and she had her phone on top of the purse and it was on loudspeaker, and she said to her caller, well, Sue Smith said this morning, so apparently people are actually listening to what I have to say and repeating it. Good. Keep it up. You should have yelled out, yeah, well, this is what I heard Sue Smith said. All right, moving on. Next up is Anne. Everybody, she's still in the Falklands with her husband, but everybody is going on about these outfits she's wearing. This blue pantsuit with the red piping, with the red scarf, just looked lovely on her. She's just so stylish. All right, moving on. The Queen is going to host a Violence Against Women and Girls reception on November 29th at Buckingham Palace. And you can see that the palace put out the official statement about what's going on. We'll be looking out for that one. Keeping with the Queen, she delivered 1,000 Paddington Bear toys to Barnados, I think it's called, this morning. She brought them in a fleet of taxis. Yeah, here's some video for you. Watch this. She walked into the building. Who wouldn't want to walk into a building with a soldier behind you in uniform carrying a box of Paddington Bears? I would. Here's some snippet for you. Queen Consort Camilla got inside, met up with, I believe it's Hugh Bonneville is his name. Look at these bears. They've been all cleaned. I love the tags on them. Take care of me. Anyway, she met up with Hugh Bonneville. They passed out the bears and sandwiches too. Watch this. They called it a teddy bear tea party. I believe it went very well. And at the end, Camilla said there were no bears left. Oh, all right, moving on. We have the King, who invested new members into the Order of Merit. This order was founded in 1902 by King Edward VII, and it's given to people who have given exceptional meritorious, service. Now, this order is restricted to 24 members as well as additional foreign recipients, and this is the sole gift of the sovereign but carries no rank apart from the initials of OM after the name. It only has one class member. That's it. During the reception, King Charles was seen talking to Sir David Attenborough during that luncheon. Apparently, he is 96 years old now, born just a few days after the late Queen. How cool is that? King Charles was also seen talking to artist David Hockney, and he admired his bright yellow Crocs, saying, "Your yellow galoshes were beautifully chosen. Charles, you have great taste." Also spotted during the luncheon was Charles talking to Sir Roger Penrose. Sounds like they had a great time. Now, at some point during the day, whether it be before or after, I really don't know which, King Charles also had an audience with the governor of South Australia, Frances Adamson, and her partner, Ron Bunton. Moving on, I just wanted to throw this in here. Kew Gardens, where the South African president went with the Earl of Wessex, put up a little blurb about how honored they were to have them there and talked about how South Africa is one of the most biodiverse countries on the earth. I think that's wonderful. Next up, I just wanted to touch on the Duchess of Gloucester. She was at that banquet that night. I didn't get any really good pictures of her. They just popped up. And she's wearing the Gloucester honeysuckle tiara with the Gloucester emerald suite. Very nice. I just wanted to recognize her since she was there. I just wanted to throw this in there. During the visit, there was no sign of Andrew. And it's the first state visit. And since all this happened, and Andrew was nowhere to be seen. So I think the king has everything well in hand on that front. All right, moving on. Once again, we're going back to the king, the Princess Trust Partnership Awards, class of 2021. We all know about the Princess Trust and all the wonderful work that they do. Congratulations to all of the graduates. All right, I really like this. Apparently, one of the elder homes has the president of the elder home is Princess Alexandra. And she apparently came to look at all the revamped gardens, and she spent time with the residents and staff, and she cut a ribbon to officially open the garden. Now, the thing about the garden is that they've worked on it to revamp it to the point where, like, they've raised the flower beds to encourage people that may not be able to bend low to do the gardening, that sort of thing. Very nice. All right, here we go, you guys. Windsor Castle has been decked out for Christmas. The centerpiece is a 20-foot-high Nordman fir tree in St. George's Hall that was grown in Windsor Great Park, dressed with 3,000 lights, hundreds of jewel-shaped ornaments, and lots of satin ribbons. Just beautiful. Walking through that palace after it's been decked out like this, I can't even imagine. It literally must be like walking through a winter wonderland inside. Could you imagine the amount of people it takes to put up this sort of stuff? Absolutely gorgeous. All right, I just wanted to touch on this. Piper Grant put up a post saying that he performed at the state banquet as part of the South African president's state visit, and he led 11 pipers from the Scots round the table performing. I just love that. All right, I'm just going to touch on this really quickly. The Councillor of State bill had its second reading in the House of Lords, but it was basically uneventful because the legislation is really not controversial. The point was brought up that it didn't remove Harry or Andrew from the pool of counselors, but it's really not necessary because now that they've added people, they'll never be called on. They said that, once the bill is in law, 2 out of Prince William and Prince Edward and Prince Anne will do it. So they suggested the palace make a statement to that effect on their website. All right, moving on. All right, here we go. This was on Reddit, and it said that it was made perfectly clear to Harry if he was to ever return to the royal family, it would not be in his best interest to go to the Ripple of Hope Awards in New York, where, he and Meghan are supposed to get a hero award for standing up against the supposed racism that was never proven against the royal family. Then it came out saying that this award is going to even deepen the rift. Duh. I think we know that. They're saying that Meghan is obnoxious and doesn't know when to be quiet, and they're doing everything possible to destroy the family. All right, a blind item came out that did not surprise me at all. And what it said was it took a lot of calls before any organization was willing to let Meghan and Harry come and help them out during the holidays. Basically, they were demanding things, just like the baby to baby. They said, we'd like to come out and help you, but you need to pay for our private jet. You don't demand things from people when you're the one that's supposed to be doing the volunteering. Exactly. All right, I just had to touch on this. The article basically says that Meghan felt that the monarchy needed her more than she needed it. And several authors had said that the first hint of trouble happened in Australia when she couldn't figure out why she wasn't being paid for her walk-arounds, okay, with people. She never understood what the monarchy is about, self-service. She thought that she was going to monetize the monarchy, like Sussex Royal pencils, Sussex Royal coffee cups, She never got it. She never understood. All right, next up, Harry is being accused of committing treason against King Charles III. Apparently, there's like 10 reasons why you could be accused of crimes for treason, but one of them is calling for the abolishment of the monarchy. That's right. All right, a couple of small little stories before we get to our big one for today. It's being suggested that Netflix is the reason why they pulled the plug on the Fallon show for Meghan, that they were like, oh no, you don't. You're not going on there right before we release, our work. And just as an FYI, just like with the Oprah interview, apparently Meghan was given her questions in advance. She already knew what was going to be asked. And then, of course, she asked to be the only guest. So, I mean, it would have been the easiest bullcrap interview. Exactly. And I just wanted to touch on this article where they said that Meghan and Harry are good for doing nothing. I have to agree. Really, what have they done? They've put out some statements, they've done some Zoom calls. That's about it. They haven't changed one single thing. All right, moving on. All right, I just had to touch on this. The New York Post put up an article about how women are vilified for exploring their sexuality and they're called sluts. First of all, I haven't heard that word in about 20 years. And I agree with this Twitter user. Is this the podcast where she tries to justify being a tramp? Well, yes, it is. Because I'm sorry, that's not exploring your sexuality. That is being a hoe. I mean, come on. Call you what you are. All right, moving on. Here we go. Prince William, the Duke of Cornwall, made his first official visit to Cornwall today. He went to Neckquay Orchard, which is a 7-acre urban green space located on Duchy of Cornwall land adjacent to Nansleton, and it provides environmental education, employability training, and community events. So his first destination was Creft, which was a creative building which houses the largest commercially available 3D printer in the county, which can make furniture. He met CEO Luke Berkeley. The prince handed a 3D printed apple to the team as a gift, interesting, and then waved at some children and then moved on to the next visit. Now, the next part was a walk through the market garden where he spoke to volunteers and where all the produce for the Canteen Cafe is grown. It's field to fork in just a few meters. Pretty cool. William, of course, stopped to talk to some children. Here's a little snippet for you.
I said your name, doesn't it, Nino? So he's called Nino, that's his name.
Very cool.
What a
Very
Nino.
smiley face. Thank you very much.
What a Nino, mate.
Very cool. There you go. Keep it.
Also, that guy you got dinner
That's right, you got a big fan doing. Well done, buddy.
Thank you very much.
What a Nino.
Hi, Ella. You got a hand too?
Prince William then went to a classroom and spoke to some nutrition experts about what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat. Prince William told these nutrition people that he ate rubbish sandwiches and cups of tea because the kids kept him up all night. And then he looked at the staff and said, okay, tell me how unhealthy I am. Now, the Prince and Princess of Wales said that by the community and for the community at this orchard, it isn't just about sustainability and taste. They produce it. It supports its volunteers and local people with everything from environmental education to employability training and physical and mental well-being. I just love that. A lot of the volunteers that tended the gardens there said that they loved being out in the fresh air. They loved working with the land. They loved that they were helping produce food that was being eaten right there. I love that. All right. And you all should know that the official website of the Duchy of Cornwall updated its website with this photo, the Prince William, who is the current Duke of Cornwall. Very nice. All right, just a few more small stories. This came out in one of the tabloids that Charles is banned from seeing Harry's kids or even speaking to them. And people are like, why would they do that? Very simple, emotional blackmail. If you take this away from me, you'll never see my kids. If you do this, I won't let you talk to George. You know what I mean? It's blackmail. All right, and the next thing that we're going to jump on is this thing about Elton John. Elton John, who said about the Queen that she was an inspiring presence and led the country through some of the greatest and darkest moments with grace, decency, and genuine caring warmth, and I will miss her dearly. That came from Variety magazine. So my question is, you can go be knighted by the royal family and show off your award, and you can say all these wonderful things about the Queen, but yet you're backing Harry and Meghan in all of their attacks against the royal family. Somebody tell this man to pick a side and get on it. And finally, I want to thank the Caribbean Prince on Twitter for this. The Queen danced with the president in Ghana in 1961 at a time when there were massive racial tensions. For a white woman to dance with a black man was like unbelievable, and it just didn't happen. But that's the point, isn't it? This is the Queen's legacy, the Commonwealth, where she was pulling everything together and everybody together, irregardless of their color. That's what Meghan Markle and Harry are trying to destroy. Shameful. All right, you guys. Once again, lots and lots and lots of information. I need you to leave those comments below. Please double check the subscribe button if you've already hit it. I've had several people leave comments that they checked after I reminded them to, and sure enough, they were unsubscribed and they had to resubscribe. If you've never subscribed, go ahead and hit that button and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Getter, Rumble, and you can email me. Links to all of those and to my Patreon account are up in the description box. Make sure you put them someplace safe, just in case something should happen to my account, so you know where to find me. For those of you who have donated money through my coffee fund and through the thanks button, thank you so, so much. And as always, you guys, have a great day.